picking up from what you just said about Sebastian, so no introduction needed, but I still want to give a little bit of introductions personally. So following the Sandbox launch and the metaverse is quite exciting, and every major names from traditional financial institution to brand names like Snoop and others all on the metaverse and the Sandbox is just really a pleasure to have you. For Fireside Chat, the format is really simple. We want to dig deep into some of the stuff that you probably have not read about or heard about. So I'm going to start off by asking Sebastian, what's some of the numbers for season 5 right now at Sandbox? Give us the metrics.
Well, that's a great introduction. Maybe just if you're not familiar what are like an alpha season, it's an annual event. Now, like it used to be an annual event. It's going to happen much more often, where like we bring together a lot of experience together for several weeks, where players can enter for the first time, play with their avatar, complete quests across hundreds of experiences, earn rewards. That can be NFTs or actual Sand token. So the Alpha Season 5 has been running for 8 weeks. We had like something around 50 plus experiences. We had great brands and IPs. The one that was the most featured was Jurassic World, like the massive dinosaur franchise. And we had over 350,000 unique players from top of mind. We had, and that's an exciting part, not only a great amount of players, but also a great engagement and spending. So we distributed close to 1 million Sand in rewards, but we made close to 900,000 Sand in revenue from selling NFTs, alpha passes, and so on. So it has really been as well like a flagship event for us to showcase that we can not only get players to engage in the metaverse, but we can convert them to actual paying users and like make them engage into the product for fun and for money.
So I know season 6 you have some really exciting stuff coming up, but I'm going to pause and ask you at the end. So for those who are staying, now I'm going to address the elephant in the room. So there's Bloomberg piece wrote about some changes and rumors, and I take blame for as part of the media. Sometimes they don't get the full story. And then the Cointelegraph story are actually try to clarify some of those things. So if we have you today, can you clarify whatever the innuendos and all that stuff talk about the structural change in your role and title and other things? So tell us what exactly is going on.
Absolutely. So, you know, I'm here. I'm still here today. I'm still wearing my Sandbox t-shirt. I think that speaks a lot, right? I'm the global ambassador for Sandbox. I keep traveling the world, sharing about the vision, sharing about the latest updates. I'm more involved than ever into like building the original vision. And so is my co-founder, Arthur Madrid, who is now the chairman of the Sandbox. The way the news has been like really pushed out, I think like it's sad that we didn't get a chance to share like as well, and we had to do it in more in a reactive manner, because we've been working hard on a lot of announcements. We'll get to there right after. I think it's important to look at like what we've been doing best at Sandbox, and we've been doing best at bringing a lot of brands, more than 400 major brands and partnership. We've been one of the best into like virtual real estate, and we keep doing land sales and even avatar sales with many brands. We're really strong about our own token, Sand. Sand is still like a top 100 cryptocurrency, and that's the token that powers the Sandbox metaverse and powers a lot of games and apps and will increase in utility soon. And so we've been reorganizing the Sandbox to keep like pushing further new product development, new launches that are coming. We brought on Robbie Young, who's been very involved at the Animoca brand, CEO of Animoca brand. He's now as well like the CEO of the Sandbox, but he's been really deep in Sandbox since the day one. Like, actually, I met Robbie at Gamescom in 2017. He was the first person I was interacting with Animoca brand at the moment we decided to become part of Animoca brand. So it's not like
someone airdrop into the and clean house and other things like that.
I think like if you were not aware that Sandbox was also already part of the Animoca Brands group, owned in majority, that Yatsu, Robbie Young, myself, we're like my co-founder Archer, we're bringing the vision around what we're building. Doesn't change.
Fantastic.
And then we bring like some of the existing management, continue to be in charge. We've just restructured Sandbox for operational efficiency because like we didn't need to keep all later small co-working space in certain region of the world. We adapt as well that like where market is, what people want, how people were going to create on Sandbox, how we enable new technology to play a better experience, a more social experience, and mobile-friendly experience for Sandbox. While we'll still launch the Alpha Season 6, while we'll still produce a fantastic update of our game maker that we launched week before. And
Well, it's great to have that reassurance from you. So let me ask, the vision, you mentioned that there's more than before. You're going after the building the vision and realizing the vision. The original visions of the blockchain game is really the new creators economy and decentralizations. And it seems to be there is a bottleneck on the adoption, right? The numbers, like everyone talked about it, it's coming, it's coming. It's like the old days where internet first started, everyone say it's going to be the greatest thing since the sliced bread. And what exactly is the bottleneck? What is the biggest challenge and barriers you see stopping or barrier blocking that mass adoption?
So there's a few things. First of all, like you can see that even if you make content creation very accessible and like ownership is here to enable a new financial layer like, for like selling on marketplace and even issuing your own token at some point, what we've seen is like there is yet like a lack of like different elements that enable content creator to engage more their audience and to keep them like rewarded for their participation. We're talking about value a lot in blockchain, but I don't think we value enough loyalty. So like, let's focus on that part. Let's see how like every interaction that a player, user, creator can do will actually turn into a valuable interaction and enable new models. The second thing is like blockchain are still very fragmented. There's like more ecosystem than ever, but blockchain haven't really played a role to bring audiences to the developer of games and platforms such as Sandbox and other. So we're working hard to onboard users to the blockchain to make them install wallet or like go through those different challenges until they're able to get into a game. And we give them tokens. We allow them to spend, to exchange, and so on. But in return, the chain that also benefit from those users, they don't really work hard as well to keep those users engaged and interact, and with different games and so on. So they are not playing like what you see the App Store from Apple, the Google Play Store, or the consoles.
So the motivation is different.
I think they have different motivation, and so it's true. Like in this decentralized space where like we are saying like there's a network effect in Web3. Sometimes the part of the network effect can be broken because the chain at their level have different interests, which are maybe more like related to other use cases. So you have to think about that as one of the elements. The other part is like, again, like I was mentioning, one of the success factors of the season 5 has been our ability to make players spend in the game, to not enough of the industry is thinking of like one simple metric, which we call the return on reward spend, which is like, it's great to give token to users, but you would also need to think of like, what are the cool mechanics that make them want to spend that token in your game?
Utility of that.
The utility, but also like, when people say, let's make fun game is not just measured into like how much we're like accelerated or enjoying. It's almost like how much we're willing to spend our own money to keep playing that game. And so it's great to give rewards to players. It's great to offer them a little bit more that they are willing to keep paying to play. And like very few games in the industry, maybe Pixels, Sandbox, and a few other have been able to like shift a bit the focus on that and not just keep playing on the big numbers of players with very low value and very low return on reward spent behind.
Talking about playing, I want to shift the topic a little bit about AI. You mentioned in your other interviews the NPC. Explain that concept where AI can potentially play into that.
Yeah, we can talk about NPCs and agent AI, agentic AI even in gaming, AI in content creation as well, like accelerating content creation. Now it's solving one of the largest bottleneck in the video game industry, which has always been content production. Like to enable game being like operating as service, we have something called live ops where we release regular updates, seasonal updates, and that brings player in. And then AI has really resolved that. So we don't need as many artists. We don't need as many developers as before. Like AI has like really accelerated and democratized that. Now we want to make games more lively, more interacting. So like AI and PC are here to give new quest, diversified content for players to interact in social hub and games, a little bit like in MMORPG, where you feel you're not alone, and when you feel like you're talking to one character, and it's not always repeating the same sentence over and over, but start to have like a deeper level of conversation. To a point, it can become indistinguishable whether you are speaking to a human or a machine. We're also seeing AI that acting as like traders in game. When games have like in-game economy, when asset in game and resource in game can be traded and sold for value, it's still been very driven by human and by the laws of supply and demand. But with AI agents, they have this autonomous being. They can collect resource and they can help the market to become more liquid by always having certain resource available and hence make the resource less scarce or like help to adjust the price. So when you want to sell your item, there will be demand as a player.
Would there ever be a standard? Because AI will evolve, and agentic AI comes in, and you just mentioned it will be indistinguishable for whether trader is a real or agent. But do you ever see a standard being introduced?
I don't know. I think it's still a lot of experimentation around like what we can do with AI and the potential of it. Whether it's like a companion that's helping you in game to progress, to discover new thing, or to get better and improve your skill. Whether they are like trading agents for the economy of the game, or like NPCs and so on. But the real question is like AI still come at a cost, a computing cost, storage cost, and who's willing to pay the bill for that? It's either like the game developers themselves, they have to more cost in hosting for providing those features to the players, or the players themselves. And that's actually one of the things that we haven't yet cracked down. Like, who's willing to pay more in a game to have AI-enabled feature? Are you willing to spend $10 more a month in a game to have a virtual companion play by your side as your friend?
Right.
We haven't seen that yet validated. Are you willing to spend more to talk to NPC characters that are a little bit smarter? We haven't seen that validated yet. However, are you willing to spend for a virtual boyfriend or girlfriend $100 a year? We've seen that validated largely. So interestingly, like we'll need to think
Right.
game designs. The other aspect of AI I'm super excited about is vibe coding. Like we started Sandbox always thinking like how we enable anyone to become a creator. On smartphone back in the day was by touching the touchscreen with your finger. The blockchain version with our no-code 3D game maker. Vibe coding or vibe modding are very powerful abilities where you create game by prompting and the AI write the code for you, and then you interact and you experiment into those games made by AI. And it's actually so fun. It's fun because it's imperfect. The AI comes with sometimes very clunky, very buggy game, reminds me of like what Flash game used to be 20 years ago. And at the same time, it's addictive. Like you'll just love to play around and
So the
discover
stickiness
those.
is really high.
Stickiness is very high. People are ready to pay to actually keep creating
Right.
games with vibe coding. And well, without saying too much more, it's look forward some of our upcoming announcements because I think vibe coding is definitely one way that people can keep creating and enjoying the metaverse.
So I know in the market there's been rumors, again, quote unquote rumors about market and some announcement coming out from Sandbox. And as much as you can share, what do you have a window that you're going to be sharing if you cannot share exactly what it is?
Well, I can share that within 1 month at a major conference in the industry, we will be unveiling some of the new things that the teams at Sandbox and beyond have been working on. The vision of Sandbox has always been to empower creators. But we never said that vision should end or the end goal was like a virtual world with this game maker. I think the vision has always been like to leverage technology to demonstrate what can be created that is cool and how we keep driving more value so those creators can make a living, can engage their audience, can and basically become like sustainable into this ecosystem. So we hope that everything we've built so far is a basis for what's come next.
I hope I have a preview, as sometimes you promise. The last questions, you are also involved with the Blockchain Game Alliance, Global Alliance. So tell us about the alliance and what's your role and what's your vision for that?
Absolutely. So in 2018, 8 members of the game industry, which including Ubisoft, back then decided that there was too much misunderstanding about like blockchain technology within the video game industry, that other peers were thinking like it was just used as a way, as a scam, as a Ponzi, that the technology itself didn't serve any purpose in games. So they decided to form this non-profit association as an alliance to educate more about like the use case of blockchain within the game industry, and that there's actual real benefit for the players, for the developers, for the platforms. Now today the BGA, Blockchain Game Alliance, is around 600 members.
Wow.
We are attending all the major global conferences, showcasing what the members are doing. And we have also other activities like fundraising event for our members, networking event, and publishing our annual survey where for the 5th year now, the next is coming in a few months, where we share what's the state of the industry, what are some of the challenges, and become a more important voice for that. And the next phase for the BGA, as well as what we're seeing with blockchain 6 years ago, we're starting to see again with AI and new emerging technology in gaming. So we're considering like how like we'll also include developers and people who are using those new emerging technology in video game, and change a bit the perception that the rest of the industry has, so that like we democratize the use of it, demystify, like it can do a lot of good if we are willing to experiment, and we keep showcasing what people are doing very creatively.
What's the
and
global
successful with it.
footprint of the members? 600, that's a lot.
I think we have like roughly 60% Europe, because that's where like BGA started. About 30% US, North America, and we have to do a little bit better in Asia, where it's roughly 10%.
10%, okay, it's about 60 of them in Asia, and Asia is big, so 60 is not a lot in each countries.
60 in Europe, 30 in America, North, South, and 10% in Asia. So I have
So
to
10, yeah, 600, 10%, that's 60.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's not a lot. In Asia is big, so yeah. Well, anything on you can say about season 6 coming up, and we'll end with that.
Well, be ready for 9 weeks of excitement, more than 35 experiences. Some of them featured will include Cirque du Soleil, will include Casio G-Shock, which
Cirque du
will
Soleil.
launch. Absolutely. It's going to be a very exciting theatrical inspired experience, a full show, basically. A lot of experience will be released over time, rewards. We took everything of the best that worked across the previous seasons. We removed all the friction point and what at the end like players didn't like. We built it on the new version of the game maker and game client, which had like amazing graphic, new feature, faster loading time, new gameplay and abilities, and we package it into like this season.
Fantastic. Well, look forward for the announcement coming up at the upcoming major events, and look forward to the season 6 and interviewing maybe again to hear all the metrics coming up. All right, with that, you want to say more?
Well, thanks for giving me the chance and the opportunity to speak about it more transparently. I think, building the sandbox is an exciting journey. It's a journey that could have not been possible without the contribution from the team member, everyone who has been part of like contributing, building great experience, from our partners in the brand, from the community of sand landowner, asset owners, from our investor, from Animoca brand as our leading parent company and owner. And we are not dead. This is really far from the end. I look forward to the next 5 to 10 years.
Fantastic. With that, let's put our hands together for Sebastian. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Joe, thank you very much. Great job. Merci encore, Sebastian Borget.